So I realized that this thing was something that I wanted to learn about. And so Jamie plugged me in, just like with the electrodes on my wrist right now. And I'm in the health industry already. And my scan comes up and my results are large intestine. This was no surprise to me. I was a little bit embarrassed because the Healy once again cut through the BS. Pardon the French. What I needed to do with in that moment, and that was the stuff that was going on in my tummy. So I said, whatever it costs, I don't care. Plug me in and give me a session. I want to feel this stuff for myself. I don't really believe in too much of the woo-woo. I need to actually feel it to believe it. So they all had this huge grin on their face, and they plugged me in and had a frequency. I did the large intestine. That, I felt it too, by the way. That next day, I woke up after a 10.5 hour sleep. Now, I hadn't slept like that since I was a kid. I'm pretty good at sleeping usually, but the sleep was so deep. I woke up and I felt like I was about 3 years old. I was running around with all of energy, and I was like completely reset spiritually. I just felt aligned and composed, and I felt like I could do anything. So that was really cool. That was really interesting for me as well, because I was staying with some family who can tend to be a little bit toxic, and my environment wasn't affecting me at all. So really incredible results with that. I then came back to Perth, which is where we're shooting this live Zoom from, and I got myself a device. Now, I had the inkling, I had the calling, if you will, to check out a problem that had been causing me a lot of shame and lower vibrational frequencies on my left foot. And I pulled up this chart that I was called to look at, like a reflexology chart, like Chinese med. And I looked at where I had these plantar warts. Now, I'd been experiencing these plantar warts for 10 years. They weren't really painful, maybe a little bit painful, but the main thing was it just kept dropping me to that lower vibration of fear, blame, shame, and guilt. And I was really funny about my feet, wasn't I? I was kind of like,
really weird.
I'd get to someone's house and I wouldn't want to take my shoes off, and unless I had socks on. I wouldn't wear thongs in summer. I just wouldn't let anyone near my feet. I was really weird about it. So after getting my Healy, I ran that original program. Didn't really know what I was doing, so I just ran that original program of large intestine on repeat for 6 days straight. And I noticed that every day my plantar warts progressed to leave my body. After the 7th day, they were completely gone.
Oh
so I was in shock. You know, I said to Anthony, you better double check my foot, because I think I'm
sorry.
I tried acupuncture, I tried apple cider vinegar, water fasting. Actually, the only thing that really impacted them was when I would water fast for 3 days, but it was something that I couldn't sustain past that point. So I was just super, super happy to have them gone now. So that's a little bit about my story. I've probably gone on a little bit too far, but that's the beautiful space that Healy creates for us to develop ourselves and for us to choose healing and expand into more greater depth of ourselves, and and be able to go beyond the norm, I guess, what Nicole was really pointing out just earlier. So here's a quote from Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's so true. We're stepping now these days more into the space of talking about things on a vibrational level, on a frequency level. And it's just so amazing that we're all here at this very moment. There's so many other places that you guys could be, but you're here right now hearing these words, and I'm sure that there's a reason for that. Okay, quantum science shows us that, you know, frequency is not only affecting every part of our body, but everything around us in our vibration of our field, in our environment as well. So it's super important to acknowledge science as well as coming into this healing space. There we go. Science now proves that everything in the universe, including us, is made up of pure energy. So at the very core of things, it's energy. We've got tissues and organs, cells, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, and then energy. So at the very core of it, we're talking about this stuff here, guys, the energy. So the leading edge of science has now met Healy. This is where we've come into play. And I don't know if you guys know much of the story about how Healy came to play, but we will go into it a bit later. You know, there's a lot of spiritual development that's gone along with the scientists and the bioscientists and all of those guys. So it's really cool how Marcus has put this all together and brought it in such a small, compact device. So if you don't know already, this little device, it can not only give us an analysis, which is what I was talking about earlier, it can give us the exact, I guess, diagnosis, or it kind of points out what frequencies would most align with our body at that particular moment and what's out of sync, or what in our bioenergetic balance is imbalanced. But it can also deliver those particular frequencies that we need. So there's 2 different types of scans this little amazing device can do. One of which is for our chakras and our aura field. Now this one really, really interested me, because when we scan our chakras, it gives us a map of where we're at on our emotional body, in our emotional body, in our mental body, in our physical body. It gives us a whole picture, and it cuts out all the BS. I've mentioned it before, but it really does. It cuts through all of the thinking and you know, how you feel and stuff about it. And it just gives you the truth. So I really love that element to the scan. Anthony loves it as well. He's right into spiritual development. And yeah, so then we have the other type of scan, which is called the resonancy. And the resonancy scan scans our body and our cells and our bioenergetic feedback, and it can find any kind of organ meridian that needs to be run. We have Bach flower essence. We have all these different incredible sets of programs, which Anthony will go through in a little while. But basically, it allows us to see what would work best for our body in that moment. And it's so crazy, because I know Zach shares his story about his friend who is having difficulty with her eyesight. Now, she hadn't even told Zach that at their coffee catch up, but when he plugged her in for a scan, you know, the first thing that came up was meridian or bioenergetic programs, and eyes was the first one. It said, you must run the eye frequency. So she did that. And right before their very eyes at this coffee catch up, she's going, you're not going to believe it, but my sight is actually clearing as this is going on. So that's just another goosebump effect that the Healy has as well. It's really incredible to hear some good feedback like that. Like anything, guys, here's our disclaimer. Healy is a medical device. It's designed for treatment of chronic pain, fibromyalgia, skeletal pain and migraines, as well as any kind of supportive treatment for mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, anything that's really related to sleep disorders. In terms of what conventional medicine suggests, or you know, allows us to state, it's not classified as conventional medicine at this stage. So while it is a medical device in certain countries, we can't claim in all countries that it is.
So one of the things I love about the Healy, being so small, it kind of really threw me off, but it actually works on all dimensions of our health and our existence. So right from our physical, mental and emotional chakras, our bioenergetic fields, also the learning field. So all these different, you know, parts and, you know, all the different areas of life it works on just from that one tiny little device. You know, I thought it would have been like 6 times the size of a laptop or something to do all the things it does.
It's truly incredible.
So with that, saying that, it actually has 144,000 frequencies, which is... yeah, 144,000 as well, you know, in a lot of things and a lot of texts. 144,000 is quite a sacred number, you know, from a spiritual sense. It also has a quantum sensor as well, and it's also application based. So what that means is you can literally just take your phone anywhere, and as long as you've got your Healy in your phone, you literally have like a therapist in your pocket you can just put on at any time, anywhere.
And what I'll share too is the quantum sensors, they actually check in with your bioenergetic feedback every 10 seconds. So if you're playing a frequency, like a gold frequency, like what's on the screen, or one of these frequencies for your chakras, it will actually tell you down the bottom how much of that percentage you need to have. So I've done -8%, so I'm pretty low in that frequency, and it's 35 hertz. So it tells you the exact frequency, and that will change every 10 seconds, which is one thing that no other device has ever had: quantum entanglement and quantum sensors.
So the person actually created the 144,000 frequencies was called Dr. Nano Nino. I'll go into a little bit more about him later. But as you can see, these are the broad spectrum. So you've got your pure your care, your balance, your being, energy, relax, and release. So all these are very broad range and set to have you at your, not just at a healthy stage, because they say health is defined in the dictionary as just being beyond sick. We want to be at our optimum level with everything. So I'll go a bit deeper into that later with Nano Nino, but he's an absolute legend. So here's the different programs that Healy offer. So you got your pain and psyche. Something that I've been going through for a few years now is a lot of pain in my lower back due to Schuman's disease. It's been a chronic pain, and about 3 years ago, the doctor said, look, the only way you're going to have any sort of pain relief with this is you're going to have to be on Lyrica for the rest of your life. And I started the thing of going down holistic health, and they didn't mention all the side effects of Lyrica, which was being quite depressive, gives you an anxious state. And on more severe cases, it can actually have you in suicidal thoughts and stuff. So it's quite a bad pharmaceutical to have people on for, pain and nerve management. So when I found the Healy, I've been off Lyrica now for like over 3 years. I found the Healy and I had a bit of an episode with my back. I was getting really bad pain, and it was to the point where I was actually considering taking some sort of a Panadol, some sort of pain relief or something, because it was really, really sore. And then Jess actually says, she goes, hey, you've got a Healy there with all these like amazing programs. Why don't you just try the chronic pain? And I said, wow, you know what? Like, great thinking. It completely slipped my mind. I've got this little magical device that can help me.
He didn't say that. He said, I'll try anything right now and get me out of this pain.
So I put the 2 electrodes on my back where it was sore. And within about 15 minutes, my back pain was completely gone, and I actually felt energized. And I was just like, what's going on here? This little machine has got rid of back pain, where normally I'd have to, on extreme cases, take pharmaceuticals, which I hate because it makes me feel gross. But it's actually done that in 15 minutes. It's actually worked quicker than Panadol and the rest of it as well. So that really blew my mind. The learning, I love using that if I'm doing a lot of retaining. I love to research. I'm a very analytical person. So if I've got the memory on, I'm just like right in my zone. The fitness is great, for if you're doing yoga, if you're doing a gym or something, you can put on deep recover after you've had a really intense workout. Your job and sleep are for those people who, like myself, don't have enough sleep, get cranky. gives them plenty of sleep. So I got your sleep systems, and also you got your activation and stuff like that for work as well. So the things that have been coming up mostly for me lately have been skin. So I've had a bit of a breakout. I know you can see it on my face at the moment, but so I've been coming up with acne and also skin elasticity. So I've been wearing those 2. Mental balance, I use that on a daily just to balance me out and keep me in my like optimal, because I do a lot of stuff to do with mental activity, so I need to be like on the top of my game there. Meridians, they're like the life flow energy and the life force where all that energy runs through our body. So it's important that all these pathways are always open. So they've got 2 meridian programs for that one. You have your bioenergetic field. So that's absolutely awesome. It's like literally having a first aid kit in your pocket. So you have everything from like immune system to cold, right through to like menopause and menstrual potency, a whole heap of amazing programs on there. Your chakras, I love the chakras. I've been running sacral and root last 2 days. That's what Jess is running now. And what I recommend to people when they get their Healy is I go, you know what, try this little challenge. I've tried it myself and it's absolutely amazing. You do a chakra a day. So you start off from the root and you go right to the crown. And the feelings you get after you've done like that last, like to the crown, holy wow, everything's so balanced, full of energy. You're in that real flow state of life and everything's just like the best I can explain, blissful. It's magical. You've got your protection program. So a lot of the time we're really busy with work around computers, around laptops, iPads. There's always a lot of electro smog around us. So the protection programs are always good to run, especially if you're doing work. They have electrosensitivity, which basically gets rid of the RMS, EMS and all that. So it clears out the electric smog. it makes that environment a lot more cleaner and healthier for you as well, without having to worry about the RMS and stuff and what they're doing to your brain and your body and your cells. The deep cycle and the gold cycle are literally married and meant to be. The deep cycle is really good to use in coincide with the gold cycles. So there's 3 ways, and those 3 ways, as I was saying before, when I had the chronic pain, as you can see there with the adhesive electrodes, that's what I was using for my chronic pain. So that's the first way you can apply them. The second way is on the ears, and the third way is on your wrist. So just like what Jess has got there.
That's our quantum sensor.
That's a quantum sensor, and that's how that works.
Oh.
Cool. So this is just a quick model. I'll briefly go through this. So Dr. Robert O'Becker and Bjorn Nordstrom, I hope I pronounced that right, have done a lot of research into the cell membranes and the voltage and the effects it has on our body. So at minus 70 millivolts, we've got young, healthy cell. It's vibrant. It's super healthy. But what happens is the more we go up, towards more of a positive reading with the millivolts, the more we start to experience aches and pains. We start to get more inflammation. We start to get blood loss. We start to get, and then it goes cancer, and it gets, eventually to the end where it's cell death. And the last time we want cell death, we want them to be young, healthy, and to be in that regenerative state where they're always keeping us nice and healthy and at the top of our health, So now it's time to meet the team. This is really, really special to me. I have a really special place for Marcus, being, a very spiritual person myself and done a lot of spiritual development. So I'm going to introduce you to the team. So Nicole Tesla is one of my favorite people, and, if he was alive, I'd just like to extract everything from his brain and pick his brain, and I'd probably have like novels and novels of written knowledge from him. But one of the things he said that I absolutely love, he goes, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, they'll make more progress in 1 decade than they will in entire centuries of its existence."
100% correct.
Which always gives me goosebumps just saying that, because now it's starting to happen where science are bridging the gap. And here we are, we have Marcus. So he's the founder of Healy and Time Waver. One thing I personally really love about Marcus is he was a monk for 12 years. So he's, been meditating, and this is where I think the chakra programs and some of these other really amazing spiritual programs came in. Just finished a program, as you can hear a little bit of music. And his vision was to make this accessible for everyone, because there's a lot of people that need these things, but it can be quite hard. They can be quite bulky, quite expensive machineries, and have nowhere near as much of the frequencies. So he designed Healy for the reason to get that out to masses to experience and, uplift people's consciousness and their vibrations, and really have them live at their optimal self. Nano Nina, sorry. So he's been a specialist in integrative medicine for over 15 years now. He's literally successfully treated thousands and thousands and thousands of patients. So what this really is really good is because he's treated so many people, he has the actual scientific data of what these frequencies are doing to people, which for someone like me, it's very analytical, really keeps my mind at ease. And he's the person that developed that 144,000 gold frequencies. So we have these guys here. They're my absolute heroes, and they are the creators of the COVID-19 cocktail. So I'll just keep skipping through. This is the team. And what they've basically done is they created a set of programs that Healy's already got to protect us from this COVID-19. So they're absolute heroes, and, bless them all for the work that they do and what they can contribute to mankind. So here we have Christian Helper. Christian Helper is a conscious investor. He only invests in conscious products like Healy. So he's invested hundreds and millions of euros and will continue to invest hundreds of millions of euros because he really sees the vision of Healy and where it's going to go worldwide and what's available for the people as well, the impact it can have on, just the everyday family. If they can't get to the doctors as much, or, if they're rural, like we're about 4 hours out of Perth, it's very rural. We're very blessed to have something that can keep us quite healthy on the regular.
I think too, Anthony, if it wasn't for Marcus and Christian, then we wouldn't be able to have such a small device. We would still be dealing with the time waiver devices, which are, 5 shoeboxes wide sort of thing.
And they're about 40,000 Australian dollars.
You need a degree to use one. You need to be a practitioner. And so the cool thing about the Healy is it's the same size as a packet of matches, but you can literally wear it. It's the first frequency wearable medicine device. And it's just incredible. As you can see, I can't contain myself.
So there's this thing that goes on when you first get your Healy, and this always makes me giggle, but it's called the Healy effect. And I don't know, what's your experience, Jess? Like my experience.
Hard to explain. Unless you've experienced it, it's really hard to describe in words. And even once you've got a Healy and you've used the Healy a lot, it's still really hard to describe. It's almost like the Healy itself has a mind of its own, and it will just do this little inside of your brain and goes, run a frequency. A frequency could really contribute to your life right now. And you run that frequency, or you do a scan, and what you find is everything just starts changing. It opens up more possibility. It opens up more freedom of self-expression. And it's just crazy. And the kind of experience that people have is, even if they're a little bit skeptical, like that was me. I was skeptical when Jamie was telling me about all the things that this thing could do. After you've had your session or experienced a scan, or you've felt it, without a doubt that this little device is a game changer and it needs to be in your life. It kind of changes the whole of your reality for you to fit with your life. It's just crazy. That's what I like to call the Healy effect. I'm sure I've had other kind of experiences as well, but it's insane. And so the Healy world. So what we're here, guys, to do is we're here to give you tools to empower you on your health journey. For so long now, people have put their health on the back burner and left it to the last thing. We have always, traded our time and our energy with money in order to get money. So like working a hard job and doing the physical labor. I'm so happy that the times have now changed to the time where we can actually share something so portable, so impactful, so magical with everyone that we love and care for and respect. And we can go on a journey with the people that we truly love and really embrace and change the world one frequency at a time. It's really impressive that we're now in this Healy world phase, which is really cool. And so there's something else very special that Healy has to offer, and Anthony's firsthand experienced this, and this is the digital nutrition. Now, I've pinched his Healy for a couple of times, and I've run things like trace elements and zinc and vitamin C, and I can tell you it's, if not as powerful or more powerful than consuming the supplement itself. I've experienced the feeling of that through the wristbands, through the quantum sensors, and it's just incredible how it really does change the world. Like, it really does change the way you're feeling in that moment. And so that's something that no other device has. You have a scanning tool, I believe. Oh, you share.
Yeah. So basically, there's an app, and you go on this app and you go, okay, whatever health problems that you feel. So like for me, for example, my knee has no cartilage and it's starting to grow back now, which is great, but it was really hard to move it. There's no movement. So what would happen is I'd go through this, basically a whole heap of questions and just answer them. And what it does is it actually creates for you a personalized like nutrition plan. So just like you'd go to a dietitian if you want to change your diet and get in top shape, the Healy nutrition is exactly the same, but it's just digital and it's in your pocket wherever you go. So they basically give you a structured plan, and they go, hey, take like vitamin B6 for, eyes or whatever it may be, take zinc for your skin and so on. And it'll actually give you like a specific plan. It's phenomenal. Blown me away. It really did.
It's like having a nutritionist in your pocket.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's potent. It's potent when we're in these times of maybe not being able to get out to see a nutritionist, or like going out and then you could risk getting sick or whatever. It's just something that's so handy and so compact and really cool. So I'm really excited to mention to you guys that we have now officially launched in the United States. I don't know if there's many people here on this call that know that, but basically within the first day of Healy going into the United States, there was over 400 new purchases of Healy devices. So really excited and really cool results. Max and Taryn shared those on their last live video. So very, very epic results for the Healy community, and it's ever growing. I mean, it's the space that we've created of consciousness. It's the space of this Healy world, this group and collective conscious moving forward into a way of upgrading the world's frequencies and raising the vibration of the planet. So very cool stuff.
So what the aim of Healy is to attract like-minded people to the Healy community that are driven by impact, optimal wellness, and freedom lifestyle. So often, where due to COVID-19, it's actually put people in their homes, but we're normally having to go to work for long hours sometimes to, pay the bills and everything like that. So it's restricting on our time. It's having impact on our health. And it's really we're not living the best life we could be living. So the aim with Healy is to live at your optimum health. So you're always, buzzing, you're full of energy, clarity, vitality, and you're living that freedom lifestyle. The style where if you want to go on a holiday, you can go on a holiday. You don't have to be restricted by time, but you can do that. And you can spend time with the people that you really love and care about. So they've been around now for 10 months, about a year now, actually. So I have to update that. They're a category creator. So what that means is there's no competition at all. There's no current or near future competition. So conscious and spiritual founders and owners, leaders of the communities. So that's what I think really brings almost an entity of its own. That's why it's so potent and powerful to have something as small as that device by the side that can really empower you. So it's financially backed, as I was saying before, with conscious investor and Euro billionaire. He's already invested 100 million euros and he's going to continue to invest. Thanks, Jess. So created by a 15-year-old German market leader company. So one thing I know is Japan and Germany, when it comes to craftsmanship, they are absolutely unbelievable. And, if you look at Mercedes-Benz, the craftsmanships on that, they last for years and just beautiful craftsmanship. So this little thing here is designed in Germany. So the craftsmanship is actually crafted by engineers. Another kind of interesting fact as well that I found very interesting was Amazon actually attempted to buy it. And I think the reason why they attempted to buy it is they could see where this is going and how big it was going to be in the world and how big of a market it was, because everyone's starting to come to terms that frequency is medicine. Spirituality and science have now joined the bridge, which is such a beautiful thing. I've been waiting for this for years and it's finally here. So it makes me really happy. And it's also the first ever 2-class medical device to be in social selling.
Very exciting.
So you're probably thinking now, how much are these devices? Where do I get one? How do I get one? So we start off from 500 euros. So if you're in Australia, that's around 850 with conversion. And that's your beginner model, your starter model, which has 144,000 frequencies. And that's the ones that Dr. Nano Nino created. So this is a broad range. It's still going to keep you at your optimum health and your wealth as well, because health is wealth. You've got your Holistic Health Plus, so that's got your sleep programs in bioenergetic, and you've got your Holistic Health Plus. So your Holistic Health Plus has all the programs, everything from your bioenergetic, your meridians, right through to your sleep programs and learning programs. And then you have your Healy Resonance. So Healy Resonance is around 4,000 Australian, and I'm not sure how much US. The only difference with the Holistic Health Plus and the Resonance is the Resonance has the aura scanner and it also has the resonance scanner. So for me, as a holistic health kind of practitioner and coming from an energy background, I looked at this when I first seen it, I was like, oh, this is going to take over my business. But if anything, it's a really good thing for my business, because it helps empower me. Like if people come in and they're not feeling too good, or they're asking a lot of questions, I can just plug them into an aura scan and it'll come up with the different areas and I can have a read through. And it gives me a more specific place I can work with them. So it's a really good tool to utilize if you are a holistic health practitioner as well.
Very cool. Oops.
There we go again. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to open to our any questions you may have. So feel free to fire away, unmute yourself if you do have any questions, and me and Jess will do our best to answer them for you.
I don't know anyone on here has any questions. We'll hold space for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So also,
Hi, it's Becky here.
hi Becky.
Hey, how you going? I just had a question too. I seen a slide before when you're talking about like the nutrition side of things.
Yeah.
Instead about zinc. Is there I've just only got my Healy on Tuesday, so I haven't fully gone through it yet. I've got the resonance. Is there a scanning tool that can sort of pick up those things? Is that what you were saying, or?
So Anthony, when where is
Okay,
it?
yeah.
So when Anthony got involved, he it was I think January, February. He purchased the residency, and they gave him a free upgrade to the digital nutrition. So when you can actually purchase it, it's a subscription, it's a monthly subscription, and there's an app that comes along with it, which is called
The Healy Advisor app.
The Healy Advisor.
I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit dark, but that's a Healy Advisor app, and it basically goes through what foods you're intolerant to and
hundreds of questions basically. And it's asking, you know, like, have you ever been in a car accident? Have you ever damaged you know, all these different parts of your body?
Yeah, generally, like it took me, and I'd say for like a general time to get through the questions, I'd take like an hour to set aside to answer them, and it'll give you the specific measurements and stuff. So it has everything from vitamin C, it has serotonin, melatonin, cortisone as well. Cortisone's natural pain. So, you know, if you are in pain, you can use cortisone as well. But it gives you the exact things that you need for your body and, you know, any health conditions you may have.
Very impressive. I was a bit skeptical at the start, and when I seen it and saw all the questions that it was asking, I was like, wow, that's quite thorough. And then I found out from Jamie and some, like Anthony and other few team members, that behind the scenes there's actually practitioners working with those particular things that you fill in the questionnaires. So there's actually people, doctors and stuff, that are going through those answers and picking out the exact supplements, I guess, that you need or that you may not be getting in your current diet. So they're giving that to help boost you up and help, you know, increase those things in your body. So I really did notice the difference when I took that, tried those frequencies. But definitely master, if you've already got the residency, definitely master the scan and follow the Healy with what to run, what frequencies to run. I always just trust the Healy, because sometimes I think, oh no, that program won't really align with me, and then I go ahead and I run the program anyway, and I was like, wow, that was spot on. Okay, 110%, that was spot on. So it's it's really something quite cool. But you can always check in with the person who introduced you to Healy. You can ask them how to go about getting an upgrade to the digital nutritionist, and that's just like an add-on thing. Super easy. Yeah,
just like a subscription you do every month.
Like the watch, I think you guys may have seen the Healy watch, which is coming out to Australia. We just ordered ours. So basically they stay on your wrist and they do scans regularly for you, like every 2 or 3 hours or something. And then by the end of the day, they have a set of programs for you to run. You can actually run frequencies through the watch as well. And you can run the digital nutrition programs through the watch also. So there's extra options. That's why the Healy world is so much more than just the Healy. There's so much. There's, I think, 10 million patented frequencies that haven't been released yet. You know, Healy is still going through them with the doctors and getting them created so that they're specifically in the Healy. So, and when they come out, they upgrade your app, so you don't have to go and get new hardware. It's the same hardware for every set, every package. The only difference is the software, so they can update that remotely, which is really cool. So if people want to get started and they think maybe I can't quite afford the residency and they want to get like one of the other packages, they can always upgrade to that residency or the digital nutrition later, which is something that I think is really leading edge, really cutting edge for the healing world.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No worries.
Is there anyone on here that would like to share, something they've experienced with Healy, something that's been a bit of a game changer for them? I know Jo's on here. Jo's she's an acupuncturist. She's studied Chinese med, and she's using this in her practice. So it's really cool to have Jo here. Maybe she wants to share something.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump on, lovelies. I've just got a bit of background noise. Sorry, can you hear me okay?
That's cool. Yeah, we can hear you. Hi, Jo. So good to see you.
Likewise, you're rocking it, guys. So I just wanted to share an experience today with a client who's got like next level adrenal fatigue and autoimmune conditions going on, and she literally hadn't slept in 48 hours. She doesn't feel like her fingertips and her toes sometimes. She's got that much, like basically her whole nervous system is in complete overload, overwhelm, and a lot of the time in shutdown. So we ran Relax program, which is one of the Gold Cycle programs that Anthony was talking about from Nuno Nina. And yeah, it was just incredible to watch her literally melt onto the table. And she, the program goes for almost an hour. And I was doing some other, energetic work with her as well, but it was predominantly what the Healy created in her body. And she said that that's the first time in 48 hours that she's actually been able to get to that deeper place of rest. She didn't actually sleep, but she was right on the edge. And for her, what's been going on in her system is she gets to that point and then everything just fires up again, and her whole body like starts to rewire and refire rather than being able to rest and relax. And she managed to bypass that stage that she's been going into with her body on the Relax program and actually just be still, be quiet. And I could feel it in her pulses as well. Her nervous system had just like gone from vibrating up here, just dropped right down. So it was really cool to see that, and like a real privilege to be able to contribute to her, to somebody who's in such acute unwellness and whose body so desperately requires contribution. It was really cool to be able to share that with her and gift that to her. So yeah, how's it get any better?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Jo.
Thank you for being the light warrior that you are. That's an incredible story. You
Guys.
keep healing the world.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Jo. Thanks so much. So there's another story that I want to share with you guys really briefly. It is too about giving that exposure, getting people to really feel the Healy, because when we first got my Healy in January on the 7th, we drove down to Bunbury for, I think it was like a week straight, and it was like from Perth to Bunbury is 2 hours. So we were driving there every second day to give one of our dear family members basically a session on the Healy. And it was building that belief in her that she could heal and that she could accept the healing and that she could be in more of a relaxed state, just like Jo was sharing. And maybe they haven't consciously completely got it, but I could see in her being that things were shifting for her. And it took her a couple of months of her seeing me wearing my Healy, loving my Healy, sharing my Healy with so many beautiful people, for her to go, you know what, I actually deserve that. And she stood up to me a couple of weekends ago and said, I'm really empowering myself now to get a Healy. I'm prepared. I'm ready to do it. And I said, that's such a beautiful space. Like, that's the Healy effect as well. That's where the Healy calls in the people that are ready to heal. And so it's such an amazing, amazing space that we're in. So now I'd like to thank you all for coming on this call. Unless there's someone else that would like to share, speak now or forever hold your peace. So I just want to say thank you all for jumping on, for being here. You guys have chosen to be here on this very call for a specific reason. Please shout out to the person who got you on this call, because this little baby is literally a game changer. It's changing the world one frequency at a time. And all you need to do is reach out to the person who got you on board and thank them for allowing you to be a part of this movement, and find out how you can get yourself a Healy. I recommend that to everyone. And yeah, thanks for being in this space with us and enjoying this webinar and choosing to be a part of it.
Appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
We love, care, and appreciate you all.
Jess?
Yeah?
Honey, just before you go, there's a couple of questions in the chat that you might want to
Yeah.
address. Yeah.
So that's okay. We can continue the call. Maybe I just need Healy. Become a naturopath. I think every human needs one. Yeah. Do you have any certain model phone? Okay, so yeah, that's a really good one. I think.
Great question.
I believe